Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time we're reviewing on Spider-Man 2, the official comic adaptation. Now, as you know, this is a comic that is based with Spider-Man 2. Now, the other stories are just from Ultimate and main Marvel, so I'm going only on the comic adaptation of Spider-Man 2. So let's get on the story. So, we've got the cover, and it starts off how Peter Parker talks about MJ and such, and how he has a job at the pizza place in Parker, delivery the werewolf building. If my pies are late, you're fired. Yes, Mr. Aziz. And so I had to deliver the pizzas where the person at the reception says, "You're late." Which means the pies are free. And why are there webs on them? Right, if I was Peter, I would dress up as Spider-Man, confront her, and throw the pies in her face. So at the same time, Peter has to deal with the fact John Jameson isn't happy with the pictures, and you'd think Peter would stand up for himself against him. At the same time, it's late for Dr. Connor's lecture, but he says that he's got a lot to do, and Peter understands and says to talk with Dr. Octopus, one of his old friends. So at the same time, it's Peter's birthday, and the scene where everything was meant to be about them talking to each other is removed. So Peter is talking with MJ and saying how she's doing, saying, "Peter, I've been waiting to tell you. I'm seeing somebody." "You mean therapy?" So she's talking about seeing someone else. And also, given the fact she leaves, Aunt May, and Peter sees that Aunt May's got bills to deal with and asks if she's okay. And also saying, "Aunt May, yes, Peter, I'm worried about you living here alone. And the money's tight, I know." "Oh, pish posh, I'm a little behind, that's all. I'll get you some cake, and then you run along home." I'm surprised they didn't add the money Peter gets given by her. It was a powerful scene where Peter knows he can't take the money, and knows it's something he doesn't want. So meanwhile, Peter and Harry are talking about, saying, "Nice to see you, mate. Take an interest in someone other than Spider-Man for a change." "Lay off, Harry. You or Spider-Man. Both of us. He killed my father. You don't know that. You weren't there. He was standing over his dead body." "Yeah, you'd think he'd probably check the body or so." So Harry meets Dr. Octavius, and where they both talk, and Peter is amazed by the experiments, and even Doc Ock introduces Parker to his wife Rosie, where they're having dinner and talking. So Peter tries to make it to, the play. And you got Peter Parker saying, "Rent Parker. Soon, Mr. Divokovich." In this one, it kind of hints that he's African American. I guess it must have been an error with the I don't know, something. So Peter tries to buy some flowers and knows he has to get into action quickly, but in the end makes it too soon, without the character Bruce Campbell as the obnoxious movie usher. So pretty much Peter and MJ are talking, but MJ doesn't want Peter anymore and hangs up the phone, and Peter feels down because he's trying to be Spider-Man. He wants to do a lot of good. So meanwhile, Doc Ock introduces him his project, and he's putting a lot of hope on this without any doing pre-testing. So given the fact that it gets a haywire and he doesn't consider turning it off. Now at the same time, Peter shows up, tries to rescue Harry, given the fact that Rosie dies, but instead it's changed to her getting sapped into the chest by lightning. Now, in the film, she dies from a glass shard, which implied to have killed her. Now afterwards, Peter is standing over and is pretty devastated at what's happened. And Harry's not happy either, saying, "I'm ruined, Peter. My father's company ruined. And as usual, laughing at me, Spider-Man." So Harry leaves in a huff, and Peter notices Doc Ock's being taken to the hospital, given the fact this is kind of Doc Ock's own fault because he didn't really take any proper pre-testing or anything. Now, at the same time, the hospital team get to work on Dr. Octavius, but the Krulls come out everywhere, ends up murdering everyone. People who've had family and friends are now dead. And Doc Ock sees what's happened, and the tentacles are talking to him, and he leaves quickly. So meanwhile, John Jameson is taking this pretty well, and calling him now Dr. Octopus. So meanwhile, Peter and Aunt May are talking with the bank, who are heavily implied to be taking advantage of Aunt May. So Peter has to get Aunt May to safety, and shows up as Spider-Man, where Doc Ock says, "A little obvious, don't you think? You're interfering with me again. After all, you ruined my work and murdered my beloved wife. Can anyone say secret memory?" So Peter ends up getting blasted out the window, but with Doc Ock and that. And also the fact that Doc Ock has Aunt May, Peter knows he has to be careful in case anything could happen. And Aunt May does the most awesome thing and says, "You, whatever you are, you should be ashamed of yourself. I beg your super granny action." So Peter has to, say that many times and says, "Well, we showed him." "What did you mean we? And we know what happened to that dreadful man or what he went for?" So Doc Ock gets away, and at the same time talks about living like a rat with these rats, and his project's coming close. So at the same time, Peter is talking with Harry, and at the same time, Peter sees Colonel John Jameson with MJ, and Peter is not happy about this. He says, "Take their picture, Parker, or you're fired." So Peter is a little upset. Him and MJ are talking, but says he's got to go, and gets to work as Spider-Man, where he talks to the guy saying, "Cool costume. Thanks, dude. It's right up the quote, sometimes it itches." Now, the difference is that the guy wore a suit and didn't have a dog. Now, at the same time, Peter realises that he's slowly losing his powers, and in Peter Parker's mind, he's talking with Uncle Ben about his problems, and leaves out of the car. Peter realises that he doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore, and life's gone better for him. Everything's going right. This is until the part where Peter tells Aunt May what really happened, and one, Peter is an idiot. You think about it, something like this could give Aunt May a heart attack, or better yet, give her a stroke. You'd think Peter would be a bit more smart on hiding the truth. I know it was one of the devastating points in Peter Parker's career, but he could easily have just hid it from her, and so on. So meanwhile, John Jameson is taking the whole Spider-Man thing well. Then Harry sees Octavius, who promises to give him the son, his project in return for Spider-Man. So, pretty much Peter offers to help Aunt May, and sees that a kid's helping, who will one day be Miles Morales' Spider-Man. And it's heavily implied that Aunt May now knows Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and says that she threw away his old comics, as a sign saying, let go of your childish things, and do the right thing. So Peter Parker gets to work, trying to get back his powers, and at the same time when Peter and MJ are talking, a car shows up where Dr. Octopus takes away MJ, and Peter has to get to work as Spider-Man. At the same time, gets his costume back, and at the same time battling Dr. Octopus, and even saving a train full of people, where everyone now knows who he is, where they say, grab him before he fails. He's just a kid. I've got him. He saved our lives. And they put his mask back on, showing that they won't tell him his secret. But when he wakes up, he sees that Harry is shocked that his best friend with Spider-Man, and that he blames him. Now the difference is this shows up as soon as Spider-Man leaves, where Harry's father Norman says, "You are your father's son, Harry, and your time of weakness has come to an end." "No, you're dead! Dead! I'm alive in you, Harry. The Green Goblin is alive in you." This is only going to be the future to Spider-Man 3, yet they could have just easily kept the original Green Goblin costume. So Peter shows up to stop Dr. Octavius, and at the process gets badly beaten, and MJ watches as Peter Parker risks his life to save her. Then Doc Ock realizes the mistake he made, and willingly sacrifices himself to also make up for all the evil he's done. So Peter and MJ get out just in time, and at the same time Doc Ock's body drifts down into the sea, and Peter and MJ are talking, and now that she knows he's Spider-Man, she now understands why he's been keeping this a secret. And she watches as Peter Parker just watches. Now at the same time when Peter's doing his stuff at that, she talks out that she wants to be with Peter now, and promises that they'll work together on their relationship. So Peter hears sirens and gets to work as Spider-Man. So that's the end of the story. So what I think, some of the bits feel rushed, yet this is a comic book adaptation. Nothing can always stay the same. So what I think, not bad, still okay, but there's still a few nitpicks. So thumbs in the middle. So comic reviewer here, signing out.